kind of fell into, when I started at Monash, I auditioned for a play just to make friends, and then I fell into the theatre crowd. And at Monash at the time, they had an annual comedy review that was really, really big.
Right.
So I got involved in that and met a lot of people who wrote their own stuff. And I was auditioning for acting jobs and didn't get any, so I just started writing my own work. And because in the 90s in Melbourne, it was just so many tryouts venues, like pubs that you could do. And it's starting to grow again here in Melbourne. It's actually a really fantastic time for stand-up comedy and live comedy in Melbourne at the moment, but there was sort of a lull for a while. But in the 90s, it was just every pub had a place you could go and do tryouts. So I just did that and
Where did your confidence come to do that though? Because that makes me sweat thinking about getting up on stage and saying, I'm going to make people laugh.
I would actually say I never had it, and I never ever enjoyed it, and I was never particularly good at it because of that.
Yeah,
I just kind of kept going because I didn't know what else to do, and I got enough encouragement and I was kind of drawn to it. But I used to look at people on stage and think, how have they got that insane amount of confidence? And people who would be dying again and again and again, and they'd come back and I'd just go, you people are like delusional.
Yes.
But God bless you for this confidence, whereas I would be backstage almost vomiting, couldn't speak to anyone. There are still stand-up comics or, you know, comedians who are working in radio and TV now. I've known for 20 years, and I still now, if I see them backstage at a gig or in a green room or whatever, I have trouble speaking to them from the memory, the visceral, that visceral reaction to feeling like those people think I'm shit. Those people think I'm worthless and I can't look at them, I can't talk to them, and then I've got to get on stage. I'd do the gig, I'd go okay, sometimes I'd kill it, never really died. I'd maybe have 2 or 3 every few months where I'd go average.
Right.
But it was just not a space where I was confident. I didn't have a sense of myself. I look back now and I think if I was who I am now then, I would have killed it.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any self-awareness. I was scared of facing who I was. I didn't even know who that was. And you can't be on stage as a comic if you don't fully understand who you are. It's just a disaster. You can't actually sell a joke properly, really.
Right.
And still now I see comics and I just, you know, people who are peers of mine who I just feel sick when I know they're going to be there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. And they wouldn't know.
Wow.
I couldn't, and I'm not going to name names, but there would be people that you've had on this couch that I would just go, oh my God, she must think I'm just a
total you know now,
farce.
Though, that's not who you are. Like, you've worked your ass off to get where you are, and you didn't even enjoy what you were doing there, but kept working to get through.
Absolutely, and what I believe is that you are right for a certain kind of medium. Yeah. And I was discovered, it's a wanky term, but I was discovered doing stand-up comedy by the guy who was running Austereo.
Right.
And so that's how I got into radio.
Yeah.
And to my credit, I suppose, I've worked really hard at radio, but also instantly understood it.
Yeah.
So it's like I found my home.
Yeah.
And so it was right for me. And this is what I always say to, you know, you speak at schools or whatever, and young people ask you for advice, and I'm so wise. I'm happy to give it.
I've asked you for advice several times.
That's true.
But give good advice.
But, you know, I always say, even if you think what you're doing is a waste of time, it will contribute to whatever happens next, because I look at stand-up and it did. I wouldn't have been in radio without it. But it was never ever going to be, I was never going to be Will Anderson. I was never going to be Judith Lucy. I was never going to be that successful. Right. But it was, somehow I was drawn to it, and that's, I think, why. Yeah. But then I landed in radio and it's my home. Like, I understand the medium, and TV as well. I haven't had as much opportunity there, but I feel like I really get that.
Yeah, yeah.
But stand-up was never going to be my thing. However, you've got heaps of amazing stand-ups who've tried radio and they weren't so great, you know? Yeah. So you've got to find the right voice for you and the right platform for you.